What is up, everybody? Bleeding Blue Podcast, episode 62. We are back at it again. As you can see, I've got glasses now. Big fucking
Nerd.
nerd. Yeah. I already knew. Uh, dude, you just shut the fuck up. There's so many things I could say, but I'm not going to. Um, anyway, yes, I am a nerd. That is who I am now. I'm not, don't call me Ryan, just call me big, stupid nerd. And that's all I go by. Anyway, are those real?
Yep, they sure are.
Why don't you wear them?
Because I don't need to,
Oh,
but I just have them, just in
everyone
case.
fucking has glasses, bro. Like, I swear. Like, everyone, oh my God, my hair is getting so bad. Ugh. I
All
need,
right,
I
let's
need to,
let's discuss some. What were you gonna say?
I was going to say I need to go to Turkey to get a hair transplant. That's what I was going to say. That's
Turkey. Why turkey?
because that's where they have the fucking that's like the best place to get you a hair transplant. And you can do it. It's like 3 grand to do it, the entire thing. I might just fucking go and to Turkey and do it. Like, fuck it. I don't care, man. I'm gonna save
All
up.
right.
Anyway, yeah, let's not talk about my quarter life crisis things going on. Um, let's talk about baseball. Let's get into some Jays talk. They got fucking swept by uh, the Tampa Bay Rays. That's all I'm gonna say. There is not much to this team right now. The only exciting thing, like this is just a terrible series in general. Everything was bad about it. This team means nothing. It was literally not even watching baseball. Like that's how bad and sad this team is right now, and how bad it was to watch this team. I'll, that's what I'm gonna say. So, Vladdy's the one player that we kind of are watching right now because of his excitement. It'd be great to see him get 200 hits, be the seventh player in league history, in team history, to get 200 hits. And he's on pace, man. 194 hits right now. I mean, I think he'll do it. How about you? What do you think?
Um. Yeah. Why not? Right. The season's fucking over, so that's the only thing left that's attainable.
We've got we've
Because
we've got 5 games left.
how much more does he need?
Need 6.
Yeah, doable.
It's doable. I don't know.
He's gotten five. He's gotten his 30 home runs, his 100 RBIs. He's done what he overachieved of what I at least of what I thought he'd do
Yeah,
this year. And yeah, he'll get it.
I think he will too.
One game, and he'll be halfway there. So
Yeah,
they do play the Marlins, so that should be nice and easy the last 3 games.
let's hope. Yeah. Marlins are not a good team. They're in Toronto, so who knows? They don't have Sandy Alcantara. They don't have Jesus Luzardo. They don't have any good pitching, especially the Marlins. But yeah, it's been really boring for this team. It's going to be interesting to see they uh, how they do against the Marlins. That's all I have to say really about that. They're not a good team. The Jays are facing the Red Sox right now. You got Brian Bayo on the mound, and then Richard Fitz. Nick Fitz is on the mound tomorrow, and then against Kevin Gosman. I did want to mention there's a couple things, especially with pitching. Starting pitching's been probably the best thing about this team. Jose Barrios has probably one more start that he has um,
Mm-hmm.
for this year. Right now, he's at a 3.38 ERA in 31 starts, 189.1 innings. Surely, 16 wins. Surely he will get some Cy Young votes. He won't win it, obviously. That goes to Tarek Skubal. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so, I mean, what a year that guy has had. He's got a 3.38 ERA, 32 starts he's going to have. It'll probably be his best season, undoubtedly, in his entire time as a big leaguer, which is crazy because it just seems like it's been so under the radar. We haven't noticed how great he's been. And
Mm-hmm.
in the last month, he's had like 1 ERA, which is just awesome. So it's very, very good to see. Very good to see.
Mhm.
Another player that's been good, who's keyed in for us, is Kevin Gosman, another guy who's was almost the entire season. He has had an ERA above 4. He's got it now down under 4 to 3.91 ERA. Obviously, strikeouts have been neither here nor there, but I mean, this is what you ask out of a guy. He's been in his time as a Blue Jay. He each year he has at least 30 starts, and he's been able to do that 3 seasons in a row. He'll have obviously 31 if he as long as he doesn't get injured. Something weird happens in 2 days. So yeah, good for those guys. That's some of the when you're on a team that isn't good, you just try and at this point you're kind of just trying to chase stats for yourself, like for your own kind of success, I'd say. Like just trying to, have set goals just for yourself, not necessarily for the
Mhm.
team, because right now it means literally nothing. So, but like guys like Brandon Little, Zach Poop is was designated for assignment, it looks like. So yay.
Yeah.
Thank God. And then, but there's other players, pitchers. Brandon Little, Yanis Cabrera, uh, Bowden Francis, who have had quite lovely, positive seasons in this sad time as they are when they're as Blue Jays, I guess that's
Mhm.
what I'm saying. But yeah, so that's things to look at, things to look forward to, I guess, for next year. Guys like Ryan Burr and Tommy Nance have been good. Ryan Yarbrough, it's good, good little things for this team. So
Mhm.
things to look forward to. Anyway, there's some other stuff in the standings that I think we do need to talk about. I don't know if you've been paying attention to the Detroit Tigers, but they are now in the second wild card spot right now and
Yeah.
have a 77.3% chance to make the playoffs. They have been awesome, absolutely
Yeah.
awesome. Riley Green's been great for them. Tarek Skubal has been fucking phenomenal. He's got a 2.48 ERA, 30 starts, over 200 strikeouts. He is on pace to have the get the triple crown as a pitcher. He's undoubtedly the Cy Young winner.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
Triple Crown as a pitcher. I've never heard of that one before.
do you know what it is?
It was a ERA, strikeouts,
And wins.
and wins. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you know who's also keyed in to do that?
In all of the MLB or just the AL?
In just in the AL, and then also in the American or National League, we got Chris Sale is doing the exact same thing too.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Chris
So,
Sale is definitely that guy.
but right now they're 82 and 74. They won today's game, so I guess they're 83 and 74 right now. Um, they've been very, very good in their last little bit. They've got a good lineup. I don't know how well they're going to do in the playoffs. A team that I know is not going to do well in the playoffs is definitely going to be the Kansas City Royals. They've fallen off a cliff in the
Mhm.
last little bit. Kansas City Royals 82 and 74 as well. They were very largely ahead the standings. Minnesota Twins have fallen out as well. Not too good for those teams, that's for sure.
Yeah. But
Um,
definitely Detroit's on the rise, man. And I like to see that. I like to see these teams that are,
yeah,
they haven't been to the
fun.
playoffs in a while. When was the last
Sure.
time the Tigers were in the playoffs? 2014?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's been a while. So nice to see these teams, coming alive,
for sure.
getting back into the mix. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Nice
Yeah,
to see that.
that's another team, and then the New York Mets face off tonight, which I'm going to be watching 100%
Where they
over.
play? Oh, Atlanta, right?
They have a 3 game set against Atlanta, 2 games ahead of Atlanta. If they, take care of business in Atlanta, they're basically in. They
Hmm.
are basically in a sweep.
Two of two,
With,
two of three, 2 of 3. They're in basically.
they sweep. They're in. I'm pretty
They
sure.
sweep. They're in. Okay.
Yeah.
Frank the Tank is going to be one happy camper. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, his
After
videos
his
in the last little bit have been very very positive for that team. They
uh,
they got swept by Chicago, the Cubs, and then right after that they have gone. Let's see, game 145 of. Oh wait, no, I'm looking at the wrong thing. They have gone. Let's see here, something like I don't know, 11-5 or 12-5 in the last 17 games. So they've been very I'm looking at a completely different season. Oh my gosh. That's funny. No, they've done better than that. They've been like 18-5 or something like that. So yeah, they've been very, 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 very good. They just won a series against the Phillies. So it's good to
mhm,
see. Very, very good to
nice.
see. They've got a lot of good players on their team, a lot of fun players like Nimmo and Alonso and Jose Iglesias is a surprise. Jeff McNeil, he was on the IL. His season's over, sad, unfortunately. But yeah, no, it's been a
Yeah.
positive season for them and good to see. I'd love to, I can't wait to see them in the playoffs. Um, anyway, let's move on, my friend. Let's move
Mhm,
on and talk about some football. I mean,
mhm.
maybe the best win of the season by far, I think. In terms of just
Yeah.
how they played and how dominant they were, an absolute maybe the most dominant game I've seen by a team. Just like no
Yeah.
chance. Just no chance. The
Yeah.
the Jaguars had. Like they were stupid penalties by them, first of all. A bunch of bad penalties. Also, things like terrible defense. They could not defend Josh Allen or James Cook or Dawson Knox. They were just walking around them. And even the defense was great against the Jaguars and against Trevor Lawrence. Fucking Damar Hamlin had his first ever interception. And that
Mhm,
was pretty awesome. That was very very cool to see. So
yeah.
and especially at a rockin' stadium last night. I mean, chef's kiss, my friend. It was yeah, what a great
Mhm. Yeah, I was very impressed by this performance. Leading into this, I was not looking forward to it because in the past the Bills have not uh, performed, up to expectations against the Jaguars. But this was definitely not what I was expecting. I was expecting a little bit closer, obviously. Usually games the Jaguars are not as bad as they are seen. 0-3. They should have been in the playoffs last year. They were they were six, they were like 8-2 at one point or something like that, and they lost like seven straight games to end the season or something like that. Like they fully collapsed. Um, the Jaguars are a good team. It's just the Bills obviously outplayed them. The crowd definitely had an impact last night. Josh Allen, at first of all, one of the best games I've seen him play. Probably right up there with um, the AFC divisional game against Kansas City 3 years ago, and the game against the Patriots in that same playoff run. Just chat like he didn't have to do anything crazy. He didn't make any stupid throws. Just check down, 5, 5, 10 yard passes. Just nothing crazy. Basically, he only had like five incompletions. Yeah, he went 23 for 30, 263 passing yards, four passing touchdowns. Mind you, that's all in the first quarter, basically, um, which is insane in itself. He didn't really need to do much in the second half because the game was already over at that point. 44 rushing yards. That's all he needed to do because the passing game was doing just fine. Only 122 rushing yards between everyone on the team. Just a fantastic performance. Um, Obviously, I got to give credit to the O line first. I feel like they weren't getting talked about enough because Josh Allen usually avoids the sacks during the games, but the O line last night was fantastic. I didn't. I think I saw Josh scramble less than like maybe 2, 3 times during the game, which is kind of rare. I mean, our O line is pretty good, but it's not one of the best in the league. But just the fact that they have the other Josh Allen on the defensive end side, is a tough task to go up against him. So just really proud of that O line just sticking together and blocking for our man and playing great. Obviously, the defense was fantastic also, only allowing 10 points. And obviously the Jags offense they have some players. They have some players like Gabe Davis, former Bill, Christian Kirk and Travis Etienne and at running back, but I just thought they were fantastic and I don't know, I can't complain.
Yeah.
It was just a great overall performance. Next week is going to be a much tougher opponent in Baltimore, coming off that honestly a slow, like a rocky win in Dallas. They were up 28-3, I think 28-6, something like that, and then just they collapsed and almost lost the game. 28-25 they won. Like Baltimore cannot hold a lead. So hopefully, maybe the Bills can, start losing beginning of the game and then come back. Because I remember last year, I think it was last year or 2 years before, the Bills were up. Bills were down 17 points heading into halftime, and they came back and beat the Ravens away. So hopefully that, kind of repeats next week. But just staying in the now, I think this is probably the best team in football, in my opinion, in terms of just domination against across all three games. Obviously, there's four other teams that are 3-0, but I just think the fact that the Bills just dominate each opponent that they play just shows that they're the best team. I think I'd probably say Minnesota is probably second right now because of the opponents they played. They played Houston last week and destroyed their massive offense. I forget who. Oh, they played the Niners in week 2 and beat them. So they're up there also. But I think just the fact that the Bills are just being so dominant on the offensive and defensive side of the ball, and without Stephon Diggs and the guys that they had last year, I think they're the best team in football right now, without a doubt.
Yeah, it just seems they're on a hot start. Ride it as long as you can. Obviously, there's going to be bumps in the road ahead. It's not going to be a smooth sail all the way through 17 games, but hey, just keep it going. We take it week by week. I think yeah, next week will be an interesting. I'm excited to watch that. That'll be a great game, I think. A lot of fun. But the Bills versus a pretty again, they're obviously off to a slow start. Why am I forgetting the Ravens? But yeah, I think that they still have a chance. I don't know. The Bengals have fucking fallen apart completely. My God. I don't know what happened. Like what's going on with them? Like,
yeah, that Monday night game I watched yesterday, that was crazy. Washington got to give props to them. That Jaden Daniels is fantastic. That performance is one of the best I've ever seen out of a rookie quarterback, especially in his third game in the NFL. I think he only had 2 incompletions all game. Throws for almost 300 yards. That last pass he made for the touchdown on Terry McLaurin. People talk about the reception, but that throw was one of the best I have ever seen. It was he's getting pressured by, I forgot who it was, one of the defensive linemen. He's getting pressured by him. He just fucking chucks it to the back post of the end zone. That is one of the toughest throws you can ever make. And I got to give it to him, man, because that was fantastic. Washington played great. The Bengals obviously need to work on some things, and that's evident. But Washington just were the better team that night. And Burrow tried his best to stay in it, but the Bengals defense they gotta figure some things out because that secondary is not looking too good. Cam Taylor-Britt was talking shit about Jaden Daniels and how he doesn't throw the deep ball, just plays check down throws, and then he showed him that he doesn't do that, and he chucks the ball. So I mean, I gotta give props to those guys because that was one of the best performances I've seen of a team this year, especially in a tough environment like Cincinnati. Because playing in Cincinnati is not fun. As as a Bills fan who's watched them play the Bengals two years in a row in Cincinnati, it's not fun. It's not a fun place to be in. So yeah.
Sure. Yeah, no, it definitely isn't. I think of Yeah, so I guess the only teams that are 3-0 right now are the Bills, Chiefs, Steelers,
Mm,
Vikings, and the Seahawks. So
yeah.
actually quite a few. There's 5 teams right now
Hmm.
that are still 3-0.
I think all of them are going to be. I think apart from the Bills and um, the Chiefs, I think those are the only teams that Bills and the Chiefs are going to be the only teams left that are undefeated next week. Um, Minnesota has to come up against Green Bay away, and that's not going to be a fun game for them. Seattle is playing Detroit away. They're probably going to lose that because Detroit is a wagon. And the Steelers, they're coming up against the Colts, so they actually probably will win that. But the Steelers, man, they're very underrated. I got a lot of buddies who are Steelers fans, and trust me, they're loving life right now because their defense is the best in the league by far. They've held all of their opponents to 10 points or less, which is pretty crazy. I mean, they haven't played anyone like amazing. Like they played the Chargers, the Broncos, and uh, who do they play this week? Or no, who do they play week one? The Falcons. Falcons are a solid team, but the fact that they're holding these offenses to only 10 points or less is pretty remarkable. So I got to give it to them. So they'll probably be 4-0 next week, but I don't know, man. There's a lot. There's this is an interesting year so far through 3 weeks. So excited to see what's ahead.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's
Let's give our predictions for week 4
all
for the
right.
Bills here.
I'll go first. I'll
Okay.
say I think I had them losing, but since the in the prediction, we're all correct right now, right?
Hmm?
With our predictions from the season, we're all
I think so. I think I can't remember who I think someone said we might have lost this game. It was either you. No, I don't think it was you. It might have been my dad who said they'd lose this game, but I think everyone said that we will lose next week to
yeah.
Baltimore.
But I think seeing as the season has uh, progressed and gone to reveal itself, I think that the Bills will win. I think it'll be a
Hmm.
closer game, but not crazy. I'm going to say 23-17.
Okay. So yeah, by 6 points. Uh, you know what? I'm going to agree with you here. I think the Bills will win another close game because playing away in Baltimore, Sunday Night Football, it's going to be a tough environment, obviously. And off a 1-2 start for Baltimore after being the AFC best team in the AFC last year in the regular season is not a good look for them. So they're looking to bounce back after that shady start. But I think Josh Allen's going to have a nice, solid game. I think he's probably going to have to do a little more this game. He's probably going to definitely going to have to play all 4 quarters. Um, but I think this is just going to be another legacy game for Josh. He's going to be running a lot because that Ravens defense is not fun to play against. So he's
No?
going to be scrambling. He's going to be scrambling a lot. That D line is going to try and get to him as much as possible. And it's not going to be fun for the Bills O line, even though after a great performance yesterday, they're going to have a tough time with the Ravens defense. But I think the Bills will win by a field goal. They'll I think they'll be up by 3 for most of the second half, and the defense is just going to shut them down, get some good stops, and then they're going to Baltimore's going to be on the 5 yard line or something with 5 seconds left, and the Bills are going to intercept the ball, intercept Lamar Jackson, or stop them on fourth down, and they're going to win the game. So I think it's going to be low scoring though, because I think this will just be straight defense all game. I think 20-17 be the outcome of this game, but it's going to be really close. Sadly, I won't be able to watch most of the game because I'm working, which is fun because no one wants to switch at my job. Thank you, everyone. But yeah, besides the fact, I think the Bills will come out with a nice close win and stay undefeated for the rest of the year.
Enough. Cool. All right. Well, then let's move on then, shall we?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. Let us talk some sports. Or fuck, what am I saying? Not sports. Let us talk some
buy and sell.
Buy and sell. All right.
Our new segment.
Want to go first?
I'll go first. Okay, so my buy for this week is a good one. Obviously, because it's a buy. What was I going to say? Yes. So I just wanted to give shout out to another podcast that I've been watching recently. Probably the biggest podcast in the world right now. Mr. Joe Rogan. He has been for a while. I just started watching a couple. I watched the one with Quentin Tarantino, probably one of my favorite film directors, and it was very interesting. Tarantino had a lot of good things to say about the film industry and how he, developed his movies. And Joe Rogan he doesn't ask the best questions, but his interviewees, kind of help him out in that sense with, giving the best descriptions and stuff. But just he has a lot of fascinating people on his podcast. I watched recently this one guy, I think I mentioned it to you the other day, this one guy who got captured by Somali pirates, and was under hostage for over 2 years. And he wrote a book about it. He was a journalist in Germany, I think. And he was over in Somalia, like doing some, obviously, writing and stuff about, what's happening in Somalia and stuff. And the day after, the day of when he was going to leave, then that's when he got captured. And just obviously it unfolds and just crazy stuff happens during his journey. And, while he's under hostage. And it's only an hour long, that podcast. I think I'm trying to remember the name of the guy who he had on. His name is Michael Scott Moore, Joe Rogan, number 1149 podcast. Go check it out. It's really interesting stuff. I'm going to keep watching more. I just started listening to the one with Mr. West, Kanye West, and just that guy is, some stuff that he has in his mind is interesting, to say the least. But yeah, I think give that podcast a try, because there's some crazy guests on there. Yeah, let's go with your buy now, Ryan, and then we'll go back and forth.
Okay, so my buy, a little bit ago, you and I and a couple of our other buddies went to this place, magical place I know you love, Costco. I am buying with my life, bro.
Here we go.
No. That's just it. That
okay.
Just Costco itself. Nothing to do with the Costco boys or Costco guys. Yeah, man. Costco is one of the greatest places. Everything is cheap, and comes in bulk. Pants,
relatively cheap for what you get. Let's just say that. Yeah,
but it's good to buy in bulk, man. It's efficient. Mm-hmm. It makes sense, rather than spending a little bit here and there and having to go back multiple times because everything changes its price every fucking 5 days. So, but yeah, I'm buying Costco because it's a great place, and you got the chicken bake, and which we don't have in Canada, and the double chunk chocolate
cookie.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, for the most part, it's pretty.
Dude, I had that last week. That was, dude. I don't need to eat anything for another 8 hours after having that thing.
Yeah.
Jesus, that cookie is insane.
I know,
to say the least. Pretty crazy.
All right.
Yeah. So my sell this week. So this is on my way to school driving. I take this one road called Steeles Avenue. Absolute shit show. Steeles Avenue. in Toronto, Brampton, passes through every city. Um, Toronto construction around York University, you need to widen the roads. Make it 3 lanes instead of two, because it takes me an hour and a half from Brampton to York University to drive on Steeles. Either that or make the 407 free, because it's not a fun drive, to say the least. So widen Steeles Avenue and everything will be grand in this world. Thank you very much, Doug Ford. Trudeau, if you're listening, widen Steeles Avenue.
Fair enough. All right.
Simple as that.
For mine, for my cell, is the glazing of Shohei Ohtani. Yes.
Wow.
It's impressive,
what?
Man. Dude, I cannot stand it. I just can't stand the amount. It's like this guy gets a fucking single, and it's the greatest player in the history of the game. Like, Joe Davis, I love you, but dude, just fucking chill. Like, I just he was gonna do it at some point, though. Like, he was gonna do it. Like, he was gonna do it. Everyone knows that he's gonna do it. It's no surprise that he was gonna do that. It's no surprise that he's incredible. I'm getting sick and tired of seeing Shohei Ohtani everywhere, and I think maybe it's a jealousy thing because he was really close to coming to Toronto, close, and it pisses me off. I see him everywhere online, and I think I'm just sick and tired of the glazing this guy gets. He's good. I know he's good. I believe he's good, but fucking just chillax. Like, start glazing somebody else, like Jordan or Vladdy. Like, please. Like, Vladdy fucking doesn't get any love whatsoever.
You know why? Because we're in Canada. That's why. This is the exact same thing with the Raptors. Raptors get no national television games. They don't get any love from the NBA, Instagram, or anything in general. They act as if that championship 5 years ago didn't even exist. Like, they never mention that ever. It's always Golden State, LeBron, whatever. They never mention the fucking championship the Raptors had. Like, I haven't seen one clip from, the Raptors winning the championship. They just completely ignore that somehow. Yeah. So this is the reality of Canadian sports, and related to the U.S. Right. So yeah, that's that. They don't care about Vlad. They don't care about Vlad. It's all about the LA, New York, Philly. That's all the MLB cares about right now. They don't care about Vlad playing one of the best second halves in baseball history.
I know.
It is what it is, man. It is what it is. They just hate Canadian sports.
All right, let's move on then, and let's talk about our top five for this week, which is very exciting. I'm excited to talk about it. It's a good one. Top five most underrated musical groups, singer-songwriters of all time. Who wants to go first?
Mm-hmm. I'll go.
You'll go.
I'll go first. I have a really good list.
All right.
Definitely some of these people you have not listened to. That's for sure. Because
not.
I know you just listen to rock.
It's not
true. So I think a lot of people, people listen to music now would like my list too. At honorable mention, I have Burna Boy. One of the best right now in terms of Afrobeat, just fantastic. Great singer. His new album that came out last year is fantastic. He has this song called Big Seven. Is like the beat on it is just unbelievable. Burna Boy, one of the most underrated Afrobeat artists in the game right now. Go check him out if you've never listened to Burna Boy. He's kind of popular, like in Canada and stuff, but just give him a listen if you haven't heard of him. All right, that's my honorable mention. Number 5, probably definitely the most underrated rapper right now is Vince Staples. If you've never heard of him, he's kind of flew under the radar on a lot of rap listeners lists. Um, Vince Staples just consistently puts out bangers. Obviously, he has a lot. He has a couple like TikTok tracks that get played often, but I think 745 um, is just great. He had a song on the Black Panther album with Eugen Blackrock Ops, which is great too. North North, Summertime '06, that album's great. Yeah, give me Vince Staples a 5. Number 4, I've kind of gone with an old school rap group. I've gone with a tribe called Quest. I don't know if you've listened to them,
Oh
Ryan.
yeah.
Yeah, just great music. They're kind of around that kind of time with Outkast um and those like the OG like 90s,
Can I kick it?
90s rap. And I just
Yes, you
yeah,
can. Can I
just
kick it?
yeah, I take it with them because they're great. They're a great group. Um, that's at number 4 for me. Number 3, another new artist. Just plays just house beats. He's not a singer, but just great beats in general. Brings a lot of new artists, and under people that don't get as much love as popular artists. But I think Kate Trinata is one of the best right now in just terms of just music quality and producing. Has a bunch of songs with artists like I think he had an album with Amine last year, I think it was, and it was awesome. Kate Tremine, get listen to that whole album is just great. Like the beats in general. He dropped an album this year. He has a few songs like I feel like people have heard "Drip Sweat" before on TikTok or Instagram, whatever. Really great song, just great producing, great beats. So check him out. At number 2, my last 2 are kind of old school. You've definitely heard of these guys before. Number 2, give me Blue Rodeo, Canadian band.
Yeah, great choice.
Yeah, great tracks. 5 Days in July. That whole album is just amazing. Like that's just those albums are just meant for the cottage. Like whenever I'm up at the cottage, I got to play Blue Rodeo, no
Mhm.
doubt. They kind of up there with Tragically Hip, that kind of realm of music, just the slow. I wouldn't say it's country, but it's kind of country, but also mixed with rock and stuff. But just great music. Blue Rodeo number 2, and number 1, probably the most hard hitting band uh, I've ever seen. Just when you listen to one of their songs, it's them. Rage Against the Machine have have multiple albums of them. Yeah,
Yeah.
have multiple albums of them on vinyl. The my favorite is obviously the self-titled album with the monk in flames, which is such a powerful album cover. And obviously, I don't know if obviously you've watched The Matrix. The end when they play Rage Against the Machine just hypes you up so much. It's so good. Um, they don't get talked about enough in the alternative in the 90s and early 2000s. So Rage Against the Machine, man, most underrated band, artists probably of all time. Just needs to get talked about more. People need to listen to them. Just great. I wish they were still around to tour and stuff. I don't know if they are. Are they still? Are Rage Against the Machine still around, touring and stuff? I hope they are.
No,
I want to go see them.
so I don't know if you
I'd like to go
know.
see them in
I don't know
concert.
if you know the band Audio Slave. So
Yes.
Audio Slave is with Chris Cornell, and
Hmm.
so everybody but the lead singer is from Rage Against the Machine is in
Oh yes,
Slave.
that's right. That's right. Yeah, I
But
should know
Chris
that.
Cornell is the lead singer, and they have some awesome songs. Audio Slave is incredible. That's another band that is definitely, I wouldn't say underrated, but he's definitely a band that doesn't go with being seen and doesn't get its recognition as it should,
Hmm.
for sure. I'll go now then. All right. All right. So I'm a big fan of a lot of older music, as we know. There are some artists I would like to mention just because I think I don't want to come on here and only act like I don't know anything about today's culture, I guess, and today's music industry. I do follow a lot of bands that I guess are under the radar nowadays. Aphex Twins. I don't know if you've heard of them. They're like this. They're
No.
they make kind of like not EDM, but similar to like Tame Impala. If they have similar, I guess it's a lot of just like if you look them up, you'll know some of the music. It's
Okay.
hard to describe. Um, I don't. I would. It was gonna say Daft Punk, but Daft Punk is definitely not a underrated band. That's for sure. I
No.
so, but and I would like to mention though Greta Van Fleet. I think that's my honorable mention as a band that is definitely one of the only
Okay.
living rock bands of our time right now. There's you don't hear about them that often, but they are absolutely incredible. One of the best rock bands. If you've heard of them,
Oh yeah.
they
I just, in my opinion, I think they're a Led Zeppelin wannabe.
oh they
In my
100%
opinion.
are they 100% are, but they're
Yeah.
still very very good, and I think they have still a lot of good tunes. That's for sure.
Okay.
Um, For number five, though, I'm going to go with a band, a yacht rock band called Ambrosia. And if you haven't heard of them, they are awesome. Ambrosia, they
Hmm.
have some classic songs. Their lead singer has an awesome voice, similar to kind of Kenny Loggins. Song that's How Much I Feel, or How Much I Feel is what it's called. And then You're the
Biggest part of me.
biggest part of me, classic. They're awesome, and I love. I remember hearing that's How Much I Feel for the first time, and I was like, holy fucking shit, this song is incredible. It's so
Hmm.
um number four. I'm sure you've heard of these guys. They write and produce music for a lot of movies, actually. But Nine Inch Nails, Nine Inch Nails
Yeah.
is definitely, I think, heavily underrated for the what they did in the '90s, what they came up with, how they performed in the '90s, is absolutely just I can't even describe the type of sound that they have that's so original and kind of brought back this grunge sound during the 90s. They songs like, Closer
Hmm.
and Head Like a Hole, some of their most popular songs. They are I love them. I think their sound is very very unique and it's original, that's for sure.
Hmm.
That'd be what I have to say about them. Trent Reznor, Atticus Ross, two main guys in that band. Yeah, they are pretty impressive. Yeah, The Hand That Feeds is another pretty popular song. There's a lot of songs that they have that are very
Hmm.
popular. All right, and then at number three, this is more on the popular side than a lot of people know this band. I think they only have a couple albums, so they're not as well known, and they don't perform anymore. Like you don't hear about them at all. But Boston, I think
Hmm.
so good. That first album that they came out, self-titled, maybe the best album, rock album of the 80s, night or I think it was the 70s when it came out. I want to be sure on this, but um there's so many good songs. More Than a Feeling, Hitch a Ride, um why am I forgetting? Foreplay,
Hmm.
Smoking. uh,
76 it came out.
so there you go. Okay. Um, that first album is Peace of Mind. So good. Just like so rock and roll band.
Hmm.
Every song on that album is a banger, 100%.
Hmm.
And they've got Amanda as another song on I think their second album. I want to say that's another really good one. But Boston, awesome, just incredible. Um, and then at number two, I have a band that is part of this alternative rock from the 80s with those bands like New Order and The Cure and Psychedelic Furs that you hear about, but not one of those. It's called The. You've definitely heard one of their songs called This Is the Day. And but they're the album The is awesome. Just or Uncertain Smiles is another song. It's just I can't get enough of it's Soul Mining. It's called is the album. That entire album is just awesome, just incredible. The music, the sound is so original. It's like the Smiths. It's a mix of the Smiths. It's a mix of Psychedelic Furs. It's a mix of The Cure, Pixies, all those bands mashed into one, and very original. And it provides a vibe that's unlike anything else I've ever heard of. Then number one, maybe my favorite band of all time. I am absolutely obsessed with these guys. Alice in Chains. Back in the 90s, they came up with bands like Pearl Jam, Soundgarden, Stone Temple Pilots, the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Queens of the Stone Age.
Queens of the Stone Age, Nirvana, came up in the Seattle scene, but did not get enough recognition. I feel being surrounded by those other bands. Alice in Chains has some of the best songs, rock songs, heavy metal type songs of all time. Man in a Box, incredible.
I Stay Away. I Stay Away is my favorite song they have.
Oh yeah, I Stay Away on the Jar of Flies. So Jar of Flies is an incredible album. Another just awesome album. Jar of Flies. Dirt is another really, really good album by them. Even Facelift, their debut album, and then the self-titled album, Alice in Chains, is another really, really good album by them. Heaven Beside You, a great song. But no, I think it's Jar of Flies though. Like especially Nutshell is like one of the maybe the most sad song I've ever heard in my entire life. It is absolutely depressing. I'm just looking at another couple of their songs. I'm forgetting. But on the Nutshell, on the Jar of Flies, Rotten Apple, another awesome song. Don't Follow, if you know that one's really, really good, really sad too. But Facelift, I would say, is like another awesome album. We Die Young, Bleed the Freak, Real Thing, like so many good songs. And it's rest in peace to Lane Staley, the lead singer with one of the greatest voices of all time. That's my number one.
Yeah, good choices, man. You definitely went old school.
I know
with your choices. I went.
You went a little new school too. Like you went new school. You followed a certain path, just like me, kind of. I feel.
Yeah, I think I still win. Oh, by the way, this guy's cheating. He votes for himself on the polls.
You're allowed to. What is wrong? What is wrong with voting for yourself?
We're making a committee decision right now. You cannot vote for yourself on the Instagram polls. That is cheating. Does not help. We should have been tied last week, but with your vote, you won. So we are not counting that at all. So next week we will be doing overrated artists. So we're gonna get in some controversy next week. Have some fun with that. A certain artist will definitely be on both of our lists if you know you know. But yeah, that was a good little podcast there. Underrated artists. That was a good decision.
No, I'm curious to know what you guys think are underrated artists as well. Like, because I'm curious. I always interested in listening to new artists as well. There was some other people I wanted to put on the list too. Like honestly, like I don't want to say the Smiths. I think they are a little bit underrated, but
the Smiths are popular though. Like
I know they have their own little following of people. They're not, but yeah.
If I wanted to, I want to mention a few more rappers or newer artists. I think the Kid Laroi has finally found his sound with his last two albums. Yeah. I think he's found his sound, and that new album he came out with this last year was phenomenal. Oh, no, was it this year? Yeah, it was this year. Was really good. I would say Don Toliver, probably my favorite rapper right now, honestly. But he's popular, so I can't really say he's underrated. Honestly, ASAP Rocky, he's been missing for the past like 10 years. He hasn't put out anything, so I guess I could say he's underrated.
He's a baby daddy, bro. He's got to take care of the
Yeah,
kids with
he is. He is.
Rihanna.
He is very busy. Um, but yeah, those are probably the only two I'd say right now.
Do you think Steve
Um,
Lacy is underrated?
maybe he might be on my list next week, but we won't say
Oh,
anything.
you don't like him?
I don't know. I just the TikTok is the I wish I knew. Just these
It's a good
TikTok.
song though. How about who else was I gonna say? Mac DeMarco. Would you say he's
Yeah,
underrated?
he's good. I like him.
Yeah.
I would underrated. I would say Mac Miller, but he's
He's dead.
I no, not that, but he's very popular. So I can't really say he's underrated because a lot of people like him. So
But like Beach
um
House.
Beach House? No, I've never listened to Beach House.
No?
No.
Space
Oh,
Song?
I do want to mention rapper, UK rapper. I should have put a UK rapper in here because I love UK rap so much.
Yeah.
I love UK grime. I love that shit. I would say
Grimes?
No, grime, UK grime. I'd love to say AJ Tracy because he's one of those OG UK rappers that came up in the scene, and he's phenomenal. Everything he's put out is great, so I just wanted to mention him. Skepta too. All those guys in the UK. Central C is kind of popular, and I'm not the biggest fan of him because he's getting too mainstream now with his music. But I think those guys are great. But yeah, UK rap. If you have a chance, listen to that. I know Ryan hates it, so I won't.
I hate UK rap. I'm just saying the voices are funny. Like it's like M to the B, M to the B, num num num
Okay,
num to the B, boom.
that is not UK rap.
Yeah, that is.
That is some other niche that is horrible. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of underrated artists out there that deserve some love.
Trying to think. Yeah, there are. There 100% are. Uh, there's so many. Yeah, there's so many like artists that I'm just looking at and I'm like, oh yeah, they are very underrated. Sinead O'Connor, another underrated
Mm-hmm.
artist. She's pretty talented back in the day. Um, Hosier, no, Hosier's not underrated.
That's overrated. They're overrated.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, let's finish it off here. We got some baseball and games to watch anyway. Thank you guys so much for listening. We will talk to you next week. And yeah, that's it for today's episode. Cheers. Make sure to like us on all the platforms, and we will talk to you later. See you.